Hi guys, so this is me doing my own fill on my right hand. I'm finally getting rid of these stars because they were cute and all, but I was just so over them because I just did stars because nobody even gets stars anymore and I wanted to use them. And I got a color that I'm not even used to, but a couple of my fingers have a different design, like this middle finger that passed has a translucent pink because I was trying a new base coat and it was not working out for my thumb and middle fingers, and that's why those two are different. The other ones, my other three fingers are perfectly fine, that's why those are the same. My thumb did lift not pretty badly, but pretty noticeably. I noticed it. I'm not sure after how long, but yeah, it did lift. So I'm removing that lifting right there, and this is super sped up, so it looks aggressive, but I promise it's not. But that middle finger is a translucent pink because I had just gotten my new jar of translucent pink, and after that base coat didn't work out on my middle finger, I didn't want to do the same thing again, the same green stars, so I just went ahead and did something different. And I tried a new base gel on my middle finger, and that one had zero lifting, so that's why it's just, I'm definitely using that base gel forever. So I'm just removing my old product, and with my standing band going at 4,000 RPMs, I'm just cleaning up my nail plate and also pushing back the skin just a little bit more, and also flushing the product with my natural nail because the smoother surface that you have to work with, the better. At this point, you could also get rid of any minimal lifting, or if you just want to use your hand file for that, that's no big deal, whatever your preference is. And I'm not going to be doing much cuticle work on my middle finger because like I said, I had just did that finger maybe 4 or 5 days before this video, I think. So it's still pretty close to my cuticle and nothing much to work on there. And so I began my cuticle work, and with this little, I don't even know what to call it. I'm just going to call it a teardrop shape. I don't know. With the little teardrop shape thing, I'm going under the skin, and I think this is reverse mode because I'm working on my dominant hand with my non-dominant hand. So it feels a little weird. So I think right now it's a reverse. Yes, it's a reverse. And then I go into forward direction right here, like you see me doing, and that's just more of what I'm used to because I'm a righty. But I'm going in forward direction, and look, my middle finger had nothing to work on, so I just keep going. And I do have a lot of hangnails because my hands get very dry very fast. Drink your water, guys. I don't drink enough of it. So I'm dusting off I'm taking off all the dust. And on myself, I feel like I have a lot of dead skin, so I'm always I always use the cuticle nippers on myself. I do it on almost everybody. It depends, how much skin you have, but I know my skin, so I always feel much cleaner just cutting it off. And I don't remember if I went back over it with the buffing ball or not, but I think I did, but I don't know. So I'm just cutting off my hangnails and my cuticle skin, giving my fingers much more of that polished look, because you don't want that to come up under your fresh product and cause lifting, because obviously the goal is to not get any lifting at all. But dang, how much dead skin do I have? A lot of dead skin. And also, I think this is why it's so important to use cuticle oil. I push my skin back a lot, though. I noticed that. Okay, so I do go back with the buffer ball. I figured I would because that was a lot of, snipping, and I didn't want to leave, such a jagged look, But, yeah, so I'm just going over making the skin look polished because the snippers, they can leave a jagged look kind of. So you want that really soft, polished, smooth look for your cuticles. But also with the buffing ball, it's very important to not push down on your nail plate. because obviously it's circular, so you could leave it pretty, like you could indent your nail pretty bad, so be careful. And now with my hand file, that's when I'm flushing everything to the natural nail and regaining my shape. And because like I said earlier, the smoother the surface, the better. So I'm just regaining my shape, and I really love this pointy almond look for myself. So I don't see myself going back to any other kind of shape. Like, not, I used to love tapered square, but I'm sorry, I love the pointy almond look. And my file is a 100 grit file. I just feel like those, they are pretty rough, but and I always had concerns with when I do encapsulations over clear nails. I always had concerns of the scratches because they can be pretty hard to buff out, but I have a specific buffing bit from my e-file that I use to take off those scratches, and it always works really well, so the scratches is not a problem for me. And now with my Mia Secret dehydrator, I'm dehydrating my nails only on the natural exposed surface, and I'm also applying my Mia Secret Extra Bond non-acidic primer. This is the base gel that I've been using. It's a soft gel base, and I always thought you had to use like a hard gel base, but no, I used this base on my middle finger, and it did not lift not even like the slightest bit. So I decided to test that on my whole hand, and so I applied a soft gel base, cured it for 60 seconds, and now I'm going over with my wet layer. I polished my wet layer over the exposed nail only, and because my thumb had a good amount of lifting, it was kind of like half my thumb. And with the translucent pink, I am starting my fill. But my thumb I did use a jelly, a brown jelly hard gel, so that's why you see that brown tint. I just didn't feel like going down that thin, but yeah. So now you just see me building my nails. I'm trying to give you guys a side view too, because I do want you guys to see what it looks like from the side and how thin I have my nails, but they are very strong. And I've never broken a nail aside from that middle finger that I told you about, but that was a base gel that was trying. So I edited these videos or some of these clips to be a little bit more closer to real time, so they're not so fast. After that fast one that you just saw, I decided to slow it down. I think I did for like at least 1 or 2 videos, but so you can see like that it's not a rush process. You don't want to rush gel. You want to play with it a little bit, but also not linger too long. But that's why if you do linger too long, it's best to work in small layers. You don't want too much gel because that's going to flood your skin. So I like to focus a lot more on application. That way I have a lot less to file. If you're just throwing gel on there, or even acrylic, if you're just throwing it on there just because, and you think you'll file it off later, you're going to spend a lot of time on filing. And it also helps a lot if you envision what your nail is going to look like. If you have an idea of what it's going to look like, then it's so much easier for you to get there with your hand and with your file. Because if you don't know what you're going for, it's just going to look like a hot mess. You're just going to be filing too much off of one side, or too thin, or maybe you're just going to leave a big lump somewhere. So it helps so much to envision the nail, and that way, I don't know how to explain it. I think I did. I hope I did. But so this is the side profile for my pinky, and it is really hard. Honestly, it's really hard to do your dominant hand with your non-dominant hand. So the fact that I can do my nails to do that hand so well now, it shows. It's one of those reminders like, dang, I've come a long way, because I am self-taught. I've never worked with acrylic. I just work with pure hard gel. So it's just one of those reminders of of how far you've come. But doing your own nails is more annoying than anything because of the filing. But So after I cured each I cured each finger in between. I flash cured each finger, actually. You could do that. You could flash cure for 30 seconds and then continue on to the other finger. That way your gel is just not moving, and you just want to do like kind of quickly, so you don't want to wait a minute every single time. Just flash cure 30 seconds, go on to the next finger, but before you go back to build the apex on the nails, cure your hand for a full minute. So I guess when you reach the pinky, when you cure the pinky, cure the hand for a whole minute. That way everything is fully cured, and then you go back with your second layer of gel, so that way you don't have any uncured gel. And then after all that, wipe off the sticky, and now I'm finished filing. And I learned that when I'm working with my non-dominant hand, it's really difficult for me to e-file with that hand. So I figured it's best to, one, focus a lot more on the application. So you save time on filing. You can play with the gel. You can drag it where you need it. And you can even scoop it off if you put too much. That's what I love about gel. I'm not sure if you could do that with acrylic, but you can scoop it off the nail if you put too much. And I forgot what I was going with that. But, oh yeah. And because you want to save time on filing always, whether it's yourself or on a client, save time on filing, because I don't know, that way you could just go ahead and get to the design, So the e-file was always difficult, so it's always just now it's easy for me to just use my hand file, because there's not anything to debulk. I'm just really smoothing it out and cutting or not cutting, but getting close to the cuticle. And also, if you make your cuticles, the area by the cuticle smooth enough, you don't even really have to go close to it. Like, yeah, I mean, you file it over it, but you don't have to get the machine and get in there really tight. But everything takes practice, because I know that's way easier said than done, especially when you're first starting out. Do not feel any pressure. Don't get discouraged. Everything takes time. Everything takes practice. Literally, I have days where something just like pops in my head. I'm just like, oh, I could do this that way. Or like, I don't have to always do this. And I don't know, you just have days like that where things just click, and you're surprised that they didn't before. And that's when you're progressing. So don't worry if you can't, if you don't get the perfect shape right away, or if it's taking you a long time to apply. Don't worry about it. You'll get there, girl. And now I'm buffing over the nails, making them smooth and even, rubbing over my nails with alcohol because I'm too lazy to get up and go rinse my hand. And to fill in the scratches before my design, I'm gonna go. I'm applying the same soft gel base gel to my fingers. I need to get more of this, because this stuff, I did this a week ago, and it's still not lifting a single bit. So, and I love that, because my nails on myself, they never lifted like too bad, like just a little bit around the edges. But this base gel is a miracle. So I cured the base gel for 60 seconds, and I did little streaks of with white gel polish, and with acetone, I'm just spreading it around. I'm not going for like a rose quartz look, but I was going for a white marble, but it ended up looking like rose quartz, and I wasn't sure where I was gonna stop here, honestly, but I just kept going, and I love how my nails came out. So I'm just spreading around that gel polish, putting it in any empty spots, pushing it around. And you want to also try making the lines in different directions than the other hand, because just to give it a little bit something different than the other hand. Like, just try to make it look a little different than the other. That way each one has its own character or whatever. So I'm pushing it around. And I feel like acetone pushes around gel polish, or I've never done it with paint, but I'm sure you could do it with paint too. Gel paint, I mean. But I love how acetone just like spreads it out. I think I tried it once with alcohol, and it was not working. I don't know how some people do it with alcohol. I can't. I don't know why. It just doesn't have the same effect with me. So I cured that for 60 seconds, and while my nails are still tacky, I'm applying this gold foil. But what I love about this gold foil is that it has like a blue-green tint to it. You can't really see it at first, or like all the time even, It's only some of the pieces that have it, but it's really pretty. So while my nails are still tacky, and this foil is super, super flat and thin, so that's why I didn't feel the need to encapsulate. And I thought I for sure was going to have to encapsulate, but I didn't have to. So I'm placing the foil, and then if it's too big, then I get a cuticle pusher, my own personal cuticle pusher that I use on myself. I get that, and I break apart, see right here, like I break it apart to give it more of like a spacey, or like just spread it around to look more full. And I'm having a little trouble placing that foil, but I just love how these came out. I love them so much. They were so cute. And then, so I just did the same thing on my thumb. I'm obsessed with these. So when I got to top coating, I double coated everything. Like I applied 2 coats of top coat to each nail, because even though the foil is flat and it'll stay there, you still, after you cure the first layer, you can still feel the foil, and obviously you don't want to feel it because that means it's vulnerable. So I just top coat it, and then I didn't get myself applying the jewels, but this is my jewels, and thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.